Hey everyone, this is Morgan at deadpanda.com, and we're going to be covering the Magic Wand tool. The Magic Wand tool is the third tool on the tool panel, and you can get to it by pressing the letter Y or just simply clicking on it. Now if you double click on it, you'll get this pop-out window, which is all your features for the Magic Wand tool, and it works very similar to the Magic Wand tool in Photoshop. So if you know how to use that tool, you'll be able to use this tool pretty easily. The only thing that changes is you get different settings for your stroke color, stroke width, opacity, and blending mode. So I'll show you a few samples. This is a bunch of circles, but they're all single color. It just looks like they're a different color when I lay them on top because they have blending modes added to them. So if I bring out my transparency, I'll show you that this has a multiply mode. This has screen mode, this has screen mode as well, this has difference mode, this has saturation mode, and this has difference mode as well. Now, if I turn this off and turn on my blending mode and select my Magic Wand tool, when I select these, I'll select everything within that mode. So when I selected this blue, it selected this one because they have the same blending mode. Now we know this and this have the same blending mode, so if I select either one of these, it'll select the other. So if I select this one, it'll select that one. Now, one thing to remember is when you're selecting things, make sure you go back to your selection tool just to kind of get an idea of what you've selected. So if I select this and I go back to my selection tool, I'll get a box letting me know that this selection caused things inside of the square to be selected, so everything that's selected is within this box. Now I'll do that to this red, and I think I might have it up. Okay, so this red is the only element with multiply mode, but if I copy this and paste it, say over here, it has the same blending mode, multiply blending mode as well, same as this one which I just copied, the same thing. Now when I use my Magic Wand tool and I select it and I return to my selection tool, now my bounding box has become bigger, letting me know that there's something else with that blending mode, which is over here. So it's always good to go back to your selection tool to get an idea of what you've selected. So I'll go over the rest of these. Opacity. Now all these squares that are around here are actually the same color, exact same color. The only difference is some of these are more opaque than others. Now with my opacity turned on, I can adjust the percentage. I'll select my Magic Wand tool and I'll select that. So now it selected these because they're within range of my percentage, which is 15 right now. I'm going to turn it down to 6 and I will select the same thing again. Now you see it skipped this one and this one because now they're not in range, and that's essentially how the rest of these settings here work. But I'll just go through them really quickly. So these are a bunch of squares with different strokes. This is 5. Actually, let me bring up my stroke. Here's my stroke panel, and when I select these, you'll see that the number changes right here. So that's 5, that's 6, that's 7, and this is 10. So right now I'll turn on my stroke width and I'll set, well, 2 is good. If I select this with the Magic Wand tool, what will happen is I'll select anything 10, 11, 12 or 10, 9, 8, and I select it and there's nothing 10, 9, 8 or 10, 11, 12 except for this. But if I select the 6 here, now I've selected 6, 7, 5 and whatever these are, but we know they're within 2 pixels of difference. Stroke color works the exact same way. These are all different strokes, and depending on my opacity, I can use my Magic Wand tool and select these, and it will select a range close to this tolerance mode. Finally is fill color. So I'll turn on my fill color, I'll turn it down, and then I'll use my Magic Wand tool to select, and now it's selected these 3 because these are with 45 of a difference. If I select these here, I'll select only these, select these, and these. When I turn it up, now I'll select a lot more. And that's how you use this magic wand tool. I'm going to show you one example where this could be useful. Let me zoom out. So this is actually a photograph I took and I turned it into vector form, meaning there's no rastration, there's no pixels in this. It's all created from lines and paths. So what I could use the magic wand tool is, say I wanted to turn all this blue into a green. What I can do is I can use my magic wand tool, set my opacity or tolerance I mean, and I can select some of this blue, and you see that it selected this, so my tolerance might be a little high, so I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to try it again, and now you see I've selected some of this blue, some of this. I can go and manually select this, but I can also see if it works by turning it just a little more. Let me select that again. Nope, a little more maybe. So now it's selected, but it's also selected some of this because it's out of range. But let me go back and I'll just select it like so. So now I've selected this, and I can actually just change the color or adjust it or copy and paste it right over it and change the color to that, and add a blending mode to change the color. So it's a very useful for these kind of things where you want to select a color range and just adjust it slightly. You can just use the magic wand tool, set up your tolerance, and change entire color of a project with very few steps. Okay, well I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Please make sure to watch the rest of my tutorials at www.dedpnda.com. Make sure to rate, subscribe, and comment on these videos.